A Moment with Tyranny podcast. This episode and conversation is powered by Homes with Tyranny. Hey. We're back with A Moment with Tyranny podcast. I have my mom here again, Lady with Wisdom. We're going to talk today about the topic is people are in your life for a reason in a season, or a season in a reason, whichever way we want to go. So we're going to go ahead and just dive on into the topic. Come on, Mama, let's get into this topic this week.
Let's go.
So let's talk about people being in your life for a reason and a season.
Yes.
So what do we
when I think about season, I think about a period of time, and then there's a change. I think about change. I think about time. So it's just a designated change of time, such as the seasons of the year. There are certain things that happens to make changes during a period of 4 months,
Yeah.
then it changes again. Okay, well, a season, like I say, is a time. Then we have people in our lives, could be family, friends, of whatever,
Yeah.
but they're there just for a season and for a reason. Let's just say mother.
Yeah.
Mother is there to guide you and nurture you and help shape you to be the person that God would have you to be.
Yeah.
And it takes time to do that. There's a season of childhood, adolescent, then you go on even to be a grown person. There's time there that you're going to have to prepare yourself for the future, like going to school and college,
Yeah.
getting ready for life. And then there's going to be a season of that. Then it's going to be a change. We're going to have many changes as we go through life. So nothing stops. There's always, it's a movement. It's a constant movement of life. And there's a reason for that. Like I explained a minute ago, shaping you into the different phases of your life.
Yeah.
So that's what I think about people and seasons. Everything has a reason.
When I think, and I hear that, and we say, I've heard many people say, oh, people are in your life for reasons and seasons. Most time I hear that when it talks about a relationship, or something, or friendship, because a lot of times you really get involved with someone and everything is going great, and then all of a sudden that relationship ends for either something terrible happened, they decided to just stop talking with you, you have to break up because somebody cheated on you or whatever. And when I think about, reasons and seasons when it comes to a relationship, I think that reasons and seasons has a lot to do with a learning process, in a growing process, should I say that. I think that when we think of people in our lives for reasons and seasons, it has to do with a growing season. I don't look at it, you could look at it in a negative way, but I really believe that it should be more of a growing process. Just like we look at trees, they have seasons with trees. You look at a tree, it has no leaves, or it has beautiful leaves, and then all of that dries up and turns brown, it falls. The leaves fall to the ground, and then next thing you know, your next season comes and all those leaves start to bloom again and they grow. But the leaves have to die off and they have to fall in order to make room for the new beauty that comes for that next season. So I kind of look at life like that, trying to be a positive spin on it. Because if you take a relationship and someone's in your life at that time, then you can really learn from that. Either you're going to learn what you don't want, or you're going to learn what you do want. You know,
Either way, you're going to
you're going
learn.
to learn. And so when that falls away, like those leaves fall away from that tree, when you bloom again with a new season or a new person, then you should have learned.
Yeah, that should advance you.
Yeah. So
It
that's
should.
that's what I kind of think about when I say when you say reason and seasons. Even with jobs, I mean, jobs come to us for reasons and seasons, and I really think reasons and seasons that a person or something is there. It is about learning. It is about a growth. Now I know that there are some people that do, have negative uh, experiences. I mean, talk about that.
Well, that's true. But I don't see too much growth there when you are just kind of stagnant with a negative attitude. And I'm not sure how I would fit that into,
People in for seasons, reasons.
yeah.
Yeah. So what would you think would be when you say, okay, a season or a reason? So what would be reasons that people come into your life? I mean, besides just, oh, I'm gonna teach you a lesson. What would be a good reason? I mean, that's something to kind of think about. What would be a reason for someone to be placed in my life?
Well, they could be there to assist you and things. They could comfort you. There are different reasons they can help to shape you, and whether it's the helping you monetary or just being a companion or whatever you're going through, you would have a companion there, someone that you can talk to, someone that could be a friend to you, and that removes the loneliness when you have someone to just kind of walk along with you. And after a while, I feel like it's time for that person to probably go on. If that person has served the purpose at that time, and they'll just need to go on to another, assignment or whatever you want to call it.
Mm.
But I don't know. Nothing, like I say, stays still. And it's just like starting out with a job. You might have that job for 10 years, 20 years, but eventually that job is going to be there no longer. You would retire or quit or whatever might happen. Then you go into another phase of life,
Yeah.
another season of life, I'll call it like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like now I'm going through another season of life. I've been through all of that. Now I'm in the good season of life. I mean, I don't have to get up and go to work like you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I enjoy my life,
Yeah.
and I feel like through the years I have come across people that enable me to be where I am today. So that would be the people there for a reason and for a season. They are no longer there. And I can hardly remember the names of those people. That's past, but they have gotten me through that season to where I am now. And it's a good reason.
Yeah.
And I can pass what I have on to somebody else. I can be that person for a season for someone else.
Yeah. So you say so, and that's a good point. We think about reason and seasons, but you know what? We can also be a reason and season in somebody's life. We just had another podcast talking about being a conduit, and that's part of being a season and a reason. Some of my knowledge or things that I've experienced in life, I can help someone get through something, and once they've gotten through what they're doing, then maybe it's time for me to fall away, like those leaves, fall away and let that person continue to grow. So that's what that means, that my season and my reason has been completed.
Hmm.
And also, we're talking about reason and seasons. I think that that's something else we have to think about, is that even if we have reasons, I mean, within ourselves, we have to understand our season, because we have to know when to walk away from situations too. You can't
Hmm.
always stay there. Now, some people are in your life forever. I'm talking about through every
That's
season.
true. That's
There are
true.
people that are there. So we have to know that there's times where you get rooted and you stay, and there's other times that you have to know when to leave.
And you say that, but people are in a life to stay for just a season. I take, for instance, my mom.
Yeah,
She was there for a long season,
yeah,
but she had to leave us.
yeah,
She was there for a reason.
yeah,
But we learn from that and we pass it on. And nothing stops moving, it continues to move.
yeah. Yeah, and that's a true statement, and you have to look at all of that, reasons and seasons, and you just made a good point. Some people are there for longer seasons than others, but through death, through growth, things like that. And I won't use the word death. I mean a whole
Well,
thing.
it's real.
It's transitioning. I believe it's
Oh,
a
okay.
transition, and
Okay.
I'll use through transition because they transition to higher places, high heaven and stuff. So death is to me is so final. So
Yeah.
I'll say through transition they leave this earthly body, and we miss them,
Yes.
But you're right. As long as you have learned and you have good seeds planted, I think that's a good thing. But then I'll go back and talk about bad seasons, okay? Let's talk about some bad seasons, because all seasons are good seasons, but try to take the positive out of it. There's times when you're probably struggling financially, or it seems like everything is just, you got that black cloud over you and stuff. How you think about that season and how you adapt to that season has a lot to do with understanding the reason you're in it. You could be in that drought or that down season because of some of your actions that you've done. So we also have to realize that sometimes it's not just the person that's there in your reason and season. You might be your reason and season
Yes.
problem as well. So we have to look at, okay, what season am I in? Who's in it, and what's the reason for it? Because God may be trying to get you through something through your own,
Yes.
downfall.
Yes.
So what's your thought on that?
Well, we learn. We learn through mistakes.
Yes,
We learn through doing.
yes,
And it's gonna not stop moving, so it's gonna change seasons. You got to try to value each season that you go through
yeah,
and just kind of look back and see what did this season teach me? What did I learn from this season?
yeah,
And then you make it better for the next season or the next person that you come in contact with.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And the other thing is that through our seasons, for whatever reason it is, we have to make sure that we keep moving, like you just said, and don't do your best not to
Repeat,
yeah,
repeat.
do your best not to repeat that season over and over, because if you keep repeating it, then you ain't learning from it. You're not growing. You keep having the same. So stop bumping your head. After a while, it's like, okay, you know what? That's not going to be a good thing.
That's right.
So when we're having these seasons and these reasons with people, even ourselves, or if we're a reason or season in someone's life, we need to make sure that we are taking, I believe, the most positive approach to it and what we can take away from it. Because if we're not, then it's, I know you always say nothing's wasted, and we have a podcast that's coming up that we're going to be talking about nothing wasted. And I know you always say nothing is wasted, nothing is wasted.
Right,
So,
that is correct.
so
And I was about to say something there, and you just changed the subject.
I'm
And
sorry.
let me see what I was about to say.
We're talking about taking away from that season something positive and making sure that when we're leaving that season, that we are taking the best away from that, not the worst. Even though sometimes it can be a little hard, but I don't know. I know if you
Well,
don't get
it
it,
came back. Let me say it now.
okay, okay, okay.
We go through seasons that we don't understand sometimes.
Yes,
And we need that person to
Yes.
come in and kind of, you know, help us navigate through that.
Yes.
And after we find out or get through it, then we can go on with the next season.
Yes. Yeah.
So you're going to go through good seasons, bad seasons, all kinds of seasons.
Yeah.
But you're looking for a time in that season to learn from it.
Yes.
And not only to learn from it, but pass it on to your friends, your family.
Exactly.
You know, it's good to talk about seasons with, people because sometimes, you don't realize that somebody might be going through the same thing that you're going through.
Yeah.
So it's really good to have people in your life for that reason and for all kinds of seasons.
Right. Right. And I believe that. And again, I just, we ask ourselves, oh, why me? Why am I going through this? What's going on? And will it ever pass and stuff? And we have to remember that things are temporary. Things are not always going
That's
to be
right.
there forever. It's not. And if we just have faith and just know it's only a season and it's going to end.
Right. And I was going to say, Tyranny, seasons take you through things. And through has a promise
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
And I love that word because when you really stop and think about that word, through means there's another side, the other side.
Yeah.
And that's a promise. If you're going through, you're going to get to the other side. I
Exactly.
like that.
There's another side.
And the other season, you got to
Mhm.
take on another season, but that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're going to meet new people
New
when you
people.
get to
Yeah.
the other season.
And you'll have new experiences, new challenges,
You-
new everything. But again, let the dead leaves fall and let the new leaves blossom and bloom and look how and look at the beauty that our creator's doing with that because he's taking us through the season.
That's
He's
right.
coming. So
That's right.
I think that's awesome, awesome, awesome. So what will we leave our audience with today when we talk about uh, people are here for reasons, people or things are here for reasons and seasons?
Well, we must thank God, first of all, for the people. We must thank Him for the seasons. And I would suggest that you look for something positive in the people
Yes.
as well as the seasons
Yeah.
and grow with it.
Yes. Yes. That's a good thing. Yeah. So through every season, find something to grow from it.
Yes.
And remember that your season is and your reason is temporary. It's changing and there's going to be constant change.
Yes.
And grasp those change, grow from that change, and use that change to help somebody get through their season and their reason.
And I was thinking, Tyranny, seasons of plenty,
Mm-hmm.
seasons of lack, seasons of just looking at the green grass in the summertime. And then we look at it in the wintertime, it's all a different colors, no longer green. But we can still see the beauty in every season. We can see beauty in every person. I don't care what kind of person, how bad that person is, we can find something beautiful in that person.
You can. You can. I agree. I agree. So this has been a Moment with Terry podcast. Thank you again for joining me. I've got a lot of feedback. People love to hear the wisdom of you. So I'm gonna bring you on a couple of times and make you a regular here so we can keep pouring out this wisdom and sharing life experiences. Everyone knows that I always end my podcast with a quote. So my quote for today's podcast is always help someone. You might be the only one that does. And I'll say it one more time. Always help someone. You might be the only one that does. Thank you for joining us. If you're not following me, please follow me on YouTube. Hit like, share. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and we'll be back next week, Friday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you for joining A Moment with Tierney podcast. Thank you, Mama.
You're welcome and thank you.